So as babies come through the birth canal, you know, that cervical spine is compressed, and sometimes things happen. And they have their first TBI, they have their first traumatic brain injury. And before they're 10 years old, kids have usually 1,000 brain injuries. Well, all those brain injuries, one on top of the other, on top of the other. And sometimes mothers say, or parents say, well, we need to have Adderall, or we need to have Ritalin, and then that changes the brain chemistry again. And then when they're 16 years old, we wonder, why is that kid reaching for heroin? Well, heroin, cocaine, one molecule different than Ritalin. Isn't that a surprise? In the 70s, I was against Ritalin. I fought the fight then. Nothing's changed. So let's go back to our discussion on what are the 3 factors in addiction. First one was TBI, traumatic brain injury. 100% had traumatic brain injury of all the addictions that I treated. Number 2, they either had no family support or no comfort within the family because they were weird. For some reason, they were weird. They were different than the family. So there was this rift, and we say in root chakras. So they had no roots. So number 3, the genetic codes of the family were such that either mother had an addiction, father had an addiction, they both had an addiction, or many years of generational stuff was there, either in addiction or depression. And the number 4 reason for addictive substance use, I found, was boredom or lack of life purpose. So people who had way too much time on their hand, it was this combination, not just of neurotransmitters issues, but relationship issues, sensory inputs. All of these things were healed by brain processes. It was these causal factors in an interesting mix that were addressed. And when they were addressed, 100% of everyone we treated went back to school and went back to work with no relapse. And the processes were 100% duplicatable. So what happened then? Well, the Grace Center for Healing became a nonprofit. We became a nonprofit in August 8th of last year, and our sole purpose is to transform the world with healing stories, and stories of those lives that came back really from an early grave or a brain dead situation, in order to inspire others to lead extraordinary lives. We create in our processes, we create in our environments, healing environments of body, mind, and spirit, and through holistic and non-invasive work on the brain. We have 87 to 95% success rate. Are you kidding? Do you know anywhere else on the planet where somebody says 87 to 95% of our people never relapse? And why is it that we're in non-relapse model? Well, we're in non-relapse model because 110 people, 110 million people have the genetic codes of addiction. And so we're not about treating Joe or Sally or Jane 16 times for the same issue. We're about treating them once, having them on our tables once for 90 days, and they go on and reintegrate back into society, back into their lives. No traumatic brain injury, no post-traumatic stress disorder, and they are free to be who they truly are. So we have a no relapse policy. If you know, there are no sober living or rehab places that give you a guarantee, so that if you relapse, we say in a very non-judgmental way, you ever relapse for the rest of your life, come on back for free. We'd love to see you, because we do transformation. We're not into the relapse model. At the Grace Center for Healing, we currently have 16 interns training with us. They are all highly skilled, amazing acupuncturists. We will have 1,200 people working with us in the next 2 years globally. We have applied for and have contracts pending with the VA, the NIH, and we are incredibly, incredibly thrilled to be discussing with the Navy how we can help the eyes and the ears and the senses of their fighter pilots be more efficient. Our centers sustain healing through brain resonance, through advanced brain techniques, through 3D imaging, through non-invasive, non-drug techniques, through an auricular frequency. This is it. This is my little auricular frequency device, because I always wanted to be a brain surgeon. I just never wanted to have a scalpel. This is my scalpel. We can go into the brain non-invasively with this, get those neuron transmitters working, and guess what? When they find each other, that's it. That's Legoland, and they are happy. So our environments are centered on healing, growth. We treat corporations, we treat athletes, we treat the infirm, we take care of the handicapped, we take care of veterans, we look after the spiritually broken, the poor as well as the very wealthy. We invite global powers as well as individuals to work with us. And through love, respect, spiritual healing, divine intervention, but primarily state-of-the-art precision in brain techniques, our brain processes work, and they'll work now and into the next many, many, many generations. I'm Angelica Wagner, the founder of Grace Center for Healing. Thank you so much for the review of this video, and I promise you I'll show you some brain techniques if we get through to the next round. Many blessings. Thank you.